For decades, the foundation of a United Nations peacekeeping mission was its passivity. These were observers in blue helmets, strictly authorized to use force only in their own self-defense. In 2012, that foundation gave way. As the M23 rebel militia marched into the city of Goma, thousands of UN troops stood by. They were legally barred from intervening, leaving civilians to face the occupation alone. The fallout split the Security Council. Governments across Africa's Great Lakes region demanded a force that could actually fight, while diplomats from countries like Guatemala warned that peace enforcement would destroy the UN's reputation as an honest broker. The UN was caught in a terminal contradiction. To stay in the Congo, it had to decide: remain a neutral observer to atrocities, or authorize its first-ever combat mandate. The response came in March 2013 with Resolution 2098. It authorized the Force Intervention Brigade, a specialized unit designed for offensive operations. This wasn't a standard peacekeeping rotation. It was a 3,000-strong combat force drawn from specialized units of South Africa, Tanzania, and Malawi. Their mandate was specific. They were not there to watch. They were ordered to actively neutralize and disarm any rebel group considered a threat to the state. For the first time, the United Nations changed its role on the battlefield, moving from a shield between factions into an authorized combatant. By late 2013, the new brigade launched a massive offensive, partnering with the Congolese National Army to dismantle the M23 strongholds. The UN brought an unprecedented level of firepower to the conflict, deploying heavy artillery and South African Royvalk attack helicopters to strike mountain bunkers. The result was a rout. In just a few days, the M23 rebels were pushed out of their strongholds and across the border into Rwanda and Uganda. On paper, the experiment was a success. The UN had decisively won a conventional military battle, appearing to justify its shift away from neutrality. But as the brigade turned toward other groups like the ADF, the mission encountered a different kind of resistance. Reports emerged that commanders within the Congolese army were collaborating with the rebels, trafficking timber, and committing their own abuses against the population. This created an operational impasse. The UN's human rights due diligence policy strictly forbids supporting partners committing grave violations. As the UN distanced itself from corrupt units, its offensive stalled. The brigade was isolated, policing a vast jungle without a reliable local partner. On the ground, consequences were devastating. Local residents, seeing the mission fail to stop weekly massacres, began to view the peacekeepers as either ineffective or silently complicit in government failures. The military supremacy of the brigade was neutralized by the very state it was mandated to support. 12 years after their defeat, that initial military success has been erased. The M23 militia has returned, stronger and more entrenched than it was in 2013. By 2025, the group had recaptured key territories and forced the shutdown of critical infrastructure, including the airport in Goma. Inside the UN, the mission is in retreat. Budget cuts are mounting, and major troop contributors like South Africa have begun withdrawing their peacekeepers entirely. Local anger has turned into open protest. In many cities, civilians are no longer asking for protection, they are demanding that the UN leave the Congo immediately. The return to violence shows that military force alone cannot change the underlying equation of a political crisis. The Force Intervention Brigade was designed to provide the military teeth for a political solution. But the larger peace framework it was supposed to support never materialized. In the decade following the first victory, the underlying causes of the war, land disputes, failed disarmament, and a lack of institutional reform, remained unaddressed by the state. A military offensive can win a battle and buy time, but without a genuine political strategy to rebuild the state, even the world's most powerful peacekeeping force is just managing a stalemate.